Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Tuesday morning. Hope we're okay. I hope we are all right. Obviously, we play in a couple of days' time on Boxing Day away to Nottingham Forest. So this is a bit of a preview, obviously, ahead of the Nottingham Forest game. Obviously, not going to be doing it tomorrow. Somewhat busy, as we all probably are. We're also going to be doing the loan roundup within this video. I was going to do it yesterday, and I forgot. So I'm going to do it here. All right. So it's going to be a bit of a longer one. All right. And I'm going to start with the loan roundup, so don't complain, all right? So we're going to jump in and we're going to whiz through it. Like we always do the loan roundup, we're not going to spend long on this one, okay? We are going to whiz through because also a lot of our players, ironically, played one another this weekend. So start with Leeds versus Oxford United. Obviously, Leeds, Manor Solomon, Oxford United, Dane Scarlett. And Dane was actually dropped to the substitute bench, okay? Substitute bench. Then they scored 0. Make of that what you need. Came on the 78th minute, and by that point, they were already 4-0 down. So, definitely not putting that on him. But Manor Solomon getting a goal and an assist. His assist was very good, by the way. And obviously getting the 4th as well. Good stuff for Manor. Started the game as well. I think he played the majority. Where did he get substituted? The 74th minute. There you go. He's got substituted pretty much after he scored because he scored in the 73rd. And Leeds right now, they are doing very well in the Championship. They're sitting right now in second, 3 points behind Sheffield United, 1 point ahead of Burnley, who are in third. And look, they've scored 41 in 22, so scoring 2 a game. They've conceded 15 in 22, so not even won a game. They're doing well at the moment. They're doing well. And if they come up, then they can buy Manor Solomon off of us. That won't suck whatsoever. Morning Spurs, Sonia, Baz, how are we? Venturous, Jazz, yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone, or Happy Holidays, whatever you may celebrate. Moving over to Stoke, 2-0 loss away to Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday are a really informed team at the moment. I mean, Stoke had 60% possession. They're nearly 3 times the amount of shots. It's one of those ones where had it been another day, they probably would have gotten something out of the game in that regard, but not doing well at the moment. 4 points off the drop. I need to get Ashley Phillips. Give Ashley Phillips the armband because he didn't actually play in this game. He was on the bench, so put him back in. Moving over to Barnsley versus Leyton Orient. Obviously, Matthew Craig playing at Barnsley. You've obviously got Jamie Donnelly and Joshua Keeley at Leyton Orient, and actually. In this game, obviously, Barnsley lost 4-0 at home, which is a bit of a shock, to be honest. It was also nice for once to see Matthew Craig start, but he was substituted in the 36th minute. So, yeah, not great. But Jamie Donnelly scored. He also, just want to double check, Jamie Donnelly also got 2 assists in this game. So a goal and 2 assists for Leyton Orient against a team that were fighting for the playoffs position. And Leyton Orient, 3 wins and 4. Big clean sheet, their goals conceded really has sort of slowed down with Joshua Keeley being in goal. So a clean sheet for Joshua Keeley, obviously a goal and 2 assists for Jamie Donnelly. That's a brilliant little return for the day. And look, they're now 6. They are 8 points clear of the relegation zone. So that's what it is in those sort of leagues. You get a good run of games, 3-4 games, and before you know it, you're cooking up a feast. Espanyol 1-0 loss away to Las Palmas. Alejo Veliz coming off the bench, maybe sticking back in the team. All right, just a little thought. But yeah, coming off the bench again, he's played a lot of minutes this season. One of those ones where maybe if he started, it'd be a different story. But it is what it is. He came on the 69th minute, and Espanyol somewhat they're in the relegation zone now. So no wins in 4. I need to get back on the winning trail. 3-0 win for Girona at home to Valladolid. Brian Gil obviously starting again. Brian obviously having a really good loan spell, playing 83 minutes for Girona as well. And Girona obviously needed that. No wins in 3 before that, so they needed that. 5 points off of 5th, obviously, which is Europa League, so they definitely needed that. And, Brian Hill was a Spanish international for a reason. And the longer it continues, the more we can cash in on the full, Just obviously a quick chat on Cardoso. 1-1 draw by Betis against Vallecano. Not a great result really for Betis. They're actually now below Girona. Same amount of points, just goal difference wise. Not much to say on that one. Notts County, 3-0 win at home to Bradford City. Obviously, George Abbott being a guy playing quite a few different positions for Notts County. And look, 3-0 win, they needed that. They were on a bit of a slide, a bit of a skid. Hadn't won in multiple games, but they finally got back on the win sheet. And look, they're still in contention for automatic promotion. They're only 5 points behind, so they're still in contention with a game in hand as well. So there's that. And to finish off with Luska Vuskovic scoring in a 1-1 draw for Westerlo against Mechelen. And Alfie Devine did start in that game as well. And by the way, before I just finish up and move on to Forest, Vuskovic is an absolute stud. Absolute stud. All right. Merry Christmas, Janice. How are you? What money could we expect for Solomon? I think a few million. I don't think you're going to get like 15, 20, but if you can get like 5, 6, something like that, I think that's fair. Hey, Dante, mate, how are we? Her Valise will be loaned elsewhere for more game to home. Leicester might be injured. That's because Buonanotte wanted Valise to join him at Leicester. That's why. Good morning and Merry Christmas to you and your family and to all Spurs fans. Have a good one. Happy New Year to you. Appreciate that, Bob, mate. You too as well. Enjoy the New Year and enjoy Christmas. I'll obviously be back live on probably the 27th. I will be live on the 27th because I've got to do the Wolves preview. There you go. Yeah, you see? I'll be back. One Beyonce concert. I think we make more than that from a Beyonce concert, We could just bring Buonanotte to Spurs if he likes it later. I think Brighton might have a word about that. Right, let's move on to Nottingham Forest. One of the most informed teams in the Premier League at the moment. Nottingham Forest sitting in 4th at the moment. 4 wins in their last 5. Spurs only 1 win in their last 5. It's a tale of 2 tapes, really. One of the better defensive teams in the league being Nottingham Forest, obviously coming up against, in theory, the best attack in the league in Spurs. So attack versus defense in this game could be quite interesting. But Spurs right now sitting 8 points behind. Forest in 4th. Obviously, Forest winning 9, drawing 4, losing 4. Spurs winning 7, drawing 2, losing 8. It's one of those games, I think, with Forest, and I'm going to go through who they've beaten, by the way, and it's mightily impressive. I'm going to be honest, you're going to see Spurs have the majority of the ball, as you would expect from playing a Nuno team. But when you look at Forest, I mean, injury news-wise, they're healthy. They're in good form. I can't lie. It's going to be a difficult one. They've also got more rest because they play once a week, and they played on Saturday, the day before we did as well. So they're going to come into this way more rested than we are. So in their last 5, they beat Ipswich 1-0. They lost to Man City away 3-0. They won 3-2 away to Man United, beating Villa 2-1 at home, and then winning 2-0 away to Brentford, which I think of all those 5 games, Brentford away winning 2-0 is their most impressive result because Brentford are one of the best home teams in the league. Obviously, they lost to Man City. So are they that good? Don't nibble. It was a joke. But, they are coming into this with some good form. All right. They are competitive. I mean, to be fair, the 2 games before that, they lost both those games and conceded 3 in each. So in their last 5, they've kept 3 clean sheets and conceded 4. No, conceded 3. Sorry, they've kept 3 clean sheets and conceded 3. In their last 5, you'd be happy with that, wouldn't you? Good Lord. So look, this is a team that is banging form. Merry Christmas. Let's put last match aside and let's start a winning run with Forest. We need to. If people don't want to forget about Liverpool, I get it, but don't let it fester. Never think about the past. Always think about the future and the present. Will Ben Davies be back? Maybe. Forest very clinical. Bournemouth had the chances but failed to capitalise. We must stop the counter-attacks. Well, that's the thing that we'll come back to that, Cozy. We'll come back to that. You think win 3-2. We need to win games against Forest, but I will not be upset if they lose or draw. Well, look, this is a game that, if Spurs were to lose, let's go off of the potential worst case scenario. If Spurs were to lose this, they would be sitting 11 points behind Nottingham Forest. Okay. Spurs to win this game, we then move to within 5 points of Nottingham Forest. There is a potential situation, obviously, with 5th this year being a very good chance of being the extra Champions League spot. You would only really need to jump into fifth to get into the Champions League in that regards. Spurs are 5 points behind Bournemouth that are in there. So there is that as well. And it really comes down to how well teams do in Europe across the three competitions. Chelsea are probably going to win the Conference League. If they don't, that's a travesty and that's an embarrassment. The amount of money they probably have spent in the last year and a half, 2 years, more than all those teams put together have in all of their histories. So they should win that. That's points. You've got Spurs and you've got Manchester United in the Europa League. You expect one of them to go fairly deep, right? Then in the Champions League, you've got the best team in the world at the moment in Liverpool. They'll do well. Man City, look, they only won the Champions League a couple of years ago. You've got Arsenal and you've got Villa, who I think all of which are doing fairly well. I mean, I know City are potentially on the risk of losing out and going out of the Champions League without getting through to the qualifying phase for the next round. I expect them to be in there. I expect them to go through. And you should hopefully have at least 3, if not 4 teams in the next round, which all of those points being considered, that's massive. And the reason is obviously with English teams, they have so many teams in all these competitions that actually it's hard not to get an extra place because you would expect them to do well with so much potential, So there is that. Let's hold on to that. So let's come and have a look at some stats from between Forest and Spurs. Forest have lost their last 6 games against Spurs, so that's something to hold on to. Spurs have won their last 3 visits to Nottingham Forest and keeping a clean sheet in each game. There's also that, which is very interesting. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 16 games on Boxing Day. We've won 12 and drawn 4. The last time we lost was in the 2003-2004 season, which was against Portsmouth. Only Aston Villa have a longer unbeaten record, which was between 1890 and 1913, which was 20. So Spurs are at least 4 years off of that, which is, crazy. That's crazy. That's a great stat. I don't know where they get that from. That is a crazy good stat. So look, this is a team that we've had some success with. Okay, that's fair to say looking at some of those stats, but knowing the fitness issues that we have at Spurs, knowing the injury issues that have at Spurs, knowing that they're in fantastic form and they have beaten pretty much most of the big boys this season. Obviously, I know they haven't beaten City or Arsenal. But when you think of some of the other teams they've beaten, they've beaten Aston Villa, they've won away to Brentford, these things you can't knock. And I mean, some of those big boy teams would be thrilled if they could win away to Brentford and, beat Aston Villa. And they've done it. So all credit goes to them and credit goes to Nuno. And he's got them playing. It might not be the sexiest football in the world, but he has them playing. 35% possession away to Brentford. In the Aston Villa game, they had 51% possession. Fair play. I mean, Aston Villa are not a great possession team. They had 28% possession against Manchester United. And against Manchester City, they had 33% possession. So, again, this is what I'm saying. Spurs are going to get on the ball a fair amount. So, what we do with that, that's the other question. Obviously, there will be the counter-attacking possibility. Because I was looking at the team that played against Brentford at the weekend. They had Sells in goal. Then Morato, Murillo, and Milenkovic at the back. Ola Aina at right wing back. They had Nico Williams at left wing back. Elliot Anderson and Morgan Gibbs-White in the centre with attacking 3 of Hudson-Odoi, Alanga, and Chris Wood. So a lot of pace. That is a lot of pace in that team because Aina and Williams are quite quick. You've still got Hudson-Odoi and Alanga that are very quick. You got to be careful. And a lot of their success came down the right wing for Forest. So all I'm going to say is there's a thumbs up for you. I've just come back onto the pace here. All I'm going to say is Desi Doggy. I hope you're ready, bud. We might need you. Ange, a great manager, his tactics and his team will demolish Forest. Ange will teach you what football's all about. Fair enough. Can you give me the good news now? It's Christmas tomorrow. There you go. We'll win 2-1. Do not lose. Forest 2, Spurs 5. Okay. Bold. Liverpool. What about Liverpool? What about Liverpool? I love Ange sticking to his guns. Not if I should be shaking their boots against our kids playing 3 goals against. Well, look, the attack was good. The defense was a little bit, but the attack is good, you know. But look, on this side of things, I think with Spurs and the Forest injury news really quickly. Apparently, Dominguez, the midfield, I believe, is suspended for this game with just like a 5 yellow card tot up procedure, so he misses 1 game. Danilo, they reckon might be back in. Well, he might be back for this game, but if not, maybe the one after. And Sangare, they reckon is ruled out. They reckon they're all ruled out, but Danilo maybe probably the only one that might be back for this game, but probably not. So they're missing 3 players, 2 midfielders, central midfielders in Sangare and Dominguez. But I mean, Elliot Anderson's been a good signing for them. I was looking. Ryan Yates. Yeah, I forgot about him. Mister, I commit 3,000 fouls a game, but never get a booking somehow. Got James Ward-Prowse on the bench. Didn't notice that. There you go. You learn something every day. Obviously, for Spurs and their situation side of things, obviously, yeah, Forster's in goal. If Ben Davies can play 90 minutes, Ben Davies plays. I've loved what Archie Gray's done, but I also want the guy that can play centre-back at centre-back. You know what I mean? And actually, Archie Gray getting some rest might not be a bad thing. I know people would want him to play, but I'm just thinking long term, him getting, 60 minutes of rest probably helps us for the Wolves game a few days later as well. A little bit of rotation because we have fitness again. Well, we have more fitness. Not fitness, but more fitness. Obviously, Destiny Doggy's had some time off. I know he's been injured, but a little bit of rest. You'd hope Destiny's back for this game. With the pace that these 2 teams have, but more importantly, the pace that they have with obviously Hudson, Aina, Langer. I mean, Gibbs White's no slouch. You would hope Destiny's back for this game. And I think we're going to need Destiny in this game. I think Porro needs to be on the bench. I think Porro looks shattered, and I think his play is really showing that he's tired. And if Jed Spence is all good to play, Jed Spence plays right back for me. You play Destiny at left back, you play Jed Spence at right back. You've got very pacey fullbacks that can handle pacey wingers. Dragic and Davies at centre half, I think would be my play there. In the midfield, Rodrigo Bentancur starts for me. He starts. He should be fit. I don't want to have any excuses from Rodrigo. He should be fit. He should be able to go 90 minutes, in my opinion. He should be fresh. It's not like he's played no football since his suspension. He's had a couple of games, and I don't think he's done very well in those games. So I think this is a game that Rodrigo needs to come in and needs to step up and take control of that midfield and make it his own again. Maddison in the midfield with him. Look, I love Pape, but I think Pape could do with a bit of a bench rest, like Porro and maybe Archie Gray, just a little bit of rest. Because I think, look, he'll be needed against Wolves. We only play a few days later. So I'm not dropping players because I think they've been poor or they're not good enough. I'm just dropping them because I'm like, hey, we need you in a few days' time. And if we've got midfield options, which, by the way, ironically, the one area of our team where we have options is the midfield. Rotate then. Just rotate. If you want to play your strongest midfield for this game and you want to go like a Bissouma, Bentancur, and Maddison, for example, just for example, don't shout and be like, Bissouma's not in our best midfield. Shut up. Just hear me out. If you want to go with that, fine. And then you want to go Wolves and you want to go, let's say Maddison plays 60 minutes against Wolves and you play Bergvall and Gray. There's another thumbs up. You're welcome. And Johnson on the right. I could get on board with that. But he might play Johnson in this game. Obviously, Johnson being a former Forest boy, I could see Johnson playing in this game. And also, Johnson's had a few games off. He should be somewhat fitter and raring to go compared to half of our other players, which means I need his energy. I need that energy. Hey, Joshua, how are you? Hate Yates the most. Fair enough, Caleb. Can't wait for the Europa League knockouts. We got a while until we get to there, my friend. A long time. I've got another month before we get there. Have we got another goalie? Me. I'm playing a goal, Janice. All 5'9" of me. A Doggy and Spencer's scary fullback partnership. The pace on those two. Spence's closing pace is serious. Serious closing pace. I think Lucas lacks. I don't think Bergwijn lacks strength. I actually don't. I'm quite impressed with his physicality for such a young guy, which means he's only going to get better and better at that the more he plays in the Premier League. Obviously, he's still a teenager. In theory, I think he's still going through puberty even. But as he gets older, they always say you get your man's body, right? As you get a bit older as a guy. So I'll give you an example. Me at 28 to me at 18 are two very different specimens, right? I probably was stronger at 18 than I am at 28, but I look stronger now because I have my man's body. Same thing with Lucas. Him now to 10 years' time will be two very different people, and he'll be much better for it, Spence right back for me with Doggy left back. Hopefully Doggy feels better. I hope, look, there was chat that he, I never get this. They always go, yeah, he's doubtful, but he might be able to play. But then he's never on the bench. And I'm like, can he play or not? Am I missing something? Is there like parts of the conference, the press conference, or do I need to go and speak to the medical team directly, being like, is he playing or not? Because I look so stupid sometimes in my previews, and I'm like, they said Destiny might play, and then Destiny's not even in the squad, and I'm like, oh, help me to help you, One in Ange, I'd rotate earlier in the season, could have been in a much better place. Mate, honestly, some of these injuries are freak. He probably should have rotated more, but some of these injuries are freak accidents. It's like people shouting about Romero. It's like, oh my God, you have no idea how injuries evidently work. He's injured a different body part. It's nothing to do with his toe. It's a quad. So rushing him back early really means nothing. Okay. Now, Mickey, I'll give you that one. Romero, don't want to hear about it. That's why with Ben Davies, we got to be careful, because I said, look, if Ben Davies can go, he should play for me. He's only been off for a few weeks, so he's not been out crazy long time. But if he's not 100%, then you're playing Archie Gray at centre-back again. Which, by the way, how mental is that? We've had 3 centre-backs out. We've had a centre-mid play at centre-back for how long? My word. But yeah, apparently, just to give you a heads up, apparently the board are expecting to spend money in January. Let's see how that works out. I'm not holding my breath, but that's the talk coming out of the club. They will be spending money in January, and they will be backing Ange. Words are lovely, but actions speak louder than words. That's all I'm saying about that. And before people cry about if they love Levy or hate Levy, I don't care. It's not a conversation about him. Just to say that we should be having reinforcements, which we do have at least a reinforcement back for this game in Rodrigo Bentancur. I expect Desi Doggy to be back, which is another reinforcement, which is lovely because they're two main first team players. We will be better for them two being back. Mikey Moore, he's at least been at the games, watching the games recently, which means he's starting to get back on the mend and be ready. Will this game be a little bit too early? I could potentially see this game being too early. And I think the 29th is where we might see Mikey get back to the bench today. Not today. The 29th. God, we play again in 5 days' time. Oh, my word. I love the Christmas period for the amount of football we're on. I don't love it when you've got so many injuries. If we had a full fit squad, I'd be thrilled. But, oh, Jesus. Obviously, Timo was sick for the last game with Liverpool, so you expect Timo to be back for this game, which, again, you may not be Timo's biggest fan. I get it. I totally get it. But at least it's an option. And obviously, yeah, then Ben Davies, we'll see. So there's a potential that you're getting back 3 players for this game, which for us, that is ridiculous. And obviously, we still have the 3 Destiny, Bentancur, and Werner. So he's still, in that regard, missing Ben Davies, Mikey Moore, Richarlison, Romero, Van der Ven, Vicaria. Oh, my word. Just still missing like 8 players. Oh, my God. It's ridiculous. Our whole squad is 8% under 23. Yeah, they supposedly will be buying more ready-made players. Again, actually speak louder than the words. How far is Van der Ven from starting? He's probably another month away. That's my guess. Tamori and Edwards or Eze and David would be a what a good. Not Edwards for me personally. Not Edwards for me. The other three I could talk about, although Eze has struggled, I think, a little bit this season. I think we should buy left centre back, left back. Yeah, I hope so as well. Winter schedule is ridiculous. Yeah, I wish we had a winter break like other leagues. Hey, Sophie, mate, how are you? I know Werner's a headless chicken, but I hope he gets an assist or something for Forest versus Forest or be useful. Look, he's just another body. He's another body, you know, and that's the art. I'm not saying it's like a cannon fodder style thing, but it's something because we've had a bunch of 16-year-olds on the bench. Like Werner or not, he's at least within the first team setup. Okay. We're clutching at straws while spinning plates. Go on, Janice. You've worked in an office before, Janice, if you're saying things like that. Would Kulu be rested and play Johnson? I could see Kulu being rested. I could see Kulu being rested. I think Johnson will play. Former club. Had a few games off recently. So Johnson, of all the players in our squad, should be one of the fitter ones. Because a little while ago, I said, look, he's not working hard enough defensively. And it was it Rangers? It was Rangers. And I said, he's not worked hard defensively there and he's not tracked back well enough. And people said, look, I think he's a bit tired. Well, I think Ange's given him probably as much rest as you could possibly hope for. There we go. I think Jono needs to start. Son will be rested. Yes, Son probably gets rested versus Forest. To be fair, we did sub off Matters early, so Kulu is resting as a shout. Yeah, I think Matters. Right, this is the key thing I saw on Twitter. Someone, for once, I actually saw a good point, which is rare on Twitter. Someone said Johnson plays well if Maddison's on the pitch. He's way more effective when Maddison's on the pitch. So, in that regard, play them together. I would actually. There's another thumbs up. You're welcome again. I'm full of them this morning. For me, I'd actually still play Son and hear me out. And I know Son might not be 100%. I totally get it. But I think you should still have enough without Son to beat Wolves on the 29th. This game, I think, would require Son's sort of quality. I would play Son, and I'd have him on the bench for Wolves. And I'd probably play Werner against Wolves, right? Yeah, I think that's how I would do it. Obviously, Slanky plays through the centre because we've got no other strikers. Thanks, Richie. So, yeah, I think Sonny will play. So, my team, Forster in goal, Spencer at right back, Destiny at left back. If Ben Davies can't play or he can't start, great at centre half with Dragajin. Midfield, I would probably go Basuma, Bentancur, Matters. I would actually hang on. I would Bergval at the 8, Bentancur at the 6 maybe could be a play here. Because if there's a situation you could get Basuma and Sarr 60 minutes of no, actually I'd still go Basuma. I'd go Bergval against Wolves. Yeah, I'll go Basuma this game, and I think Bergval against Wolves. That's how I'd go about it. And then the front three, I'd go Son, Slanky, Johnson. So, you are dropping, well, not dropping, you're rotating Sarr. Bergval can obviously be, because I think Bergval and Sarr look like they can play well together. So I'd have those two playing against Wolves, and I'd maybe even have Kulusevski playing in the 10 with them. And then obviously, you could then rotate. Like, if you want to sub off Johnson and bring Maddison on and put Kulu out on the right, you could absolutely do that. You would hope, obviously, there might be a situation Archie Gray could feature in that midfield against Wolves. Ben Davies should be back for Wolves, you would think, unless we've been lied to again by the club. But he should be back for Wolves at least. So maybe they go, we don't want to risk him because we're starting to get one or two back. Let's not jump all in the deep end again because, if Ben Davies was to get injured, you'd have fans crying out again about the club and what they're doing with their injured players. So maybe Archie will play centre back. You have Ben Davies then for Wolves. I could see that. Rodrigo, Kulu, Madison is risky, but may work. I don't want to put both attacking midfielders in the same team when we just don't have the players for it, really. Because then you're asking both right wingers to play as well, and there's my other issue there. I get the idea if you want to play Bergvall in this game. I totally get the idea if you want to play Bergvall in this game, though. Could see that. I just think having for Wolves with Sarr and, let's say Maddison plays 60 minutes this game. Maybe Maddison plays against Wolves, or, Kulu plays half an hour in this game, and then maybe Kulu goes and plays that. I could see that, but that's the way I'd go about it. I think this game being the game that it is, and against a team that is, look, they're above us in the league. Let's not hide away from this. You should have enough to beat Wolves, even with rotating players. I'd have Porro back in for the Wolves game. Have a week off, bring him back in for the Wolves game. I think, with the ability, I think that would be fine. Ben Davies maybe comes back in for the Wolves game. I think we need to be smart about this midfield, because this midfield, unlike everywhere else in the team, we have options in this midfield. And I think keep the rotating. I think 3 play this game and maybe 3 play another game. Maybe that's how I would do it. Obviously, Archie can be featured in that midfield situation if Ben Davies is good to go. And I think Archie's done well at centre-back. But again, he's a central midfielder. Get the guy that can play centre-back back at centre-back. And I think we're a better team for it. No offence to Archie. I think he's been good. But 2 centre-backs being able to play centre-back is better than 1 and an 18-year-old central midfielder who can somewhat play right-back. And then, the beautiful thing is then you can actually go, let's rotate. Let's get out, even if it's like Archie's going to go play right back for a bit. And we're going to get Spence a few days off. Because as much as we've all liked Spence, he hasn't really played a lot of football this season. He's probably starting to feel it a little bit now as well. Dest is back. Maybe Porro, obviously. You could go that route. So let's have that in mind. Our fan base needs therapy. Ooh. January will be good. Ben score 6 minutes. Bergvall sub. Maddison 60 minutes. Sarr 30 minutes. Basuma 60 minutes. Kulu 30 minutes. So Ben score 60 minutes. Bergvall subs on for him. Maddison 60 minutes with Kulu subbing on for him, and Sarr and Basuma. Okay, yeah, I could get on board with that, Cozy. Yeah. Yeah, I can get on board with that, Cozy. It's not a bad shout. Werner 60, Sonny 30, Slanky. So, I would switch Werner and Son. I'd give Son 60 and play Werner 30. I just think you should have enough against Wolves with rotating a few players. And there's no dig at Wolves, but you're at home. And Wolves are 3rd bottom, having conceded 40 this season. They've conceded 1 more than we've scored, and we've scored a lot of goals. So that's the reason I think we should go more in for this game than we should Wolves. This game means way more than Wolves does. This game is against a team that is fighting into those European places. Yeah, obviously we have that position where you win a cup, you're in the Europa League. You win the Europa League, you're in the Champions League. But with January coming around, and you would hope there's reinforcements. Obviously, injury-wise, you're going to get back Mickey. You're going to get back Mikey. You're going to get back Ben and Cootie. Richarlison's back in the new year. You're going to get some players back. You may lose a few with injuries and suspensions, but you're going to get a few back. You then reinforce with a few extra players. Obviously, moving off of a few, there are supposed exits being touted, which I can get. Obviously, Yang will be here as well in January, so that's another one. Obviously, I'm not putting any pressure on him. Neither should anyone, but he is another body as well. That's why I think, yeah, you're tired. I get that you're tired. We've got a few players back that we can rotate with these guys this time. The new year being back and Richarlison being back means we can rotate Solanke as well. Because my God, that guy needs a week off. He works so hard, Solanke, and I love. He's been such a good addition, but he needs to be able to get a week off from time to time. Hit the line, bro. Appreciate it, Jazz. Don't know what to say about his team anymore. The way we play, I think, would be. Well, look, any team that's going to sit back wants a team to press onto them. So that's why it works for them. Yeah. Defence spends Dragosian, Archie, Doggy, if have done well. Dorrington, Lancashire in to give a breather. Yeah, would be nice, but I don't see it personally. But yeah, Cozy, I think if Ben can't play this game, I say, and Ben would then in theory be back for Wolves, and then I put Ben back in for the Wolves game, and then obviously Romero's probably back in about a month's time. I think no, I think Mickey might be back maybe a week before that. Mickey maybe mid January. I think Romero is probably later on in January. He must have really damaged his thigh, by the way, because to get an injury, it's going to last you 6 weeks on your thigh. That's a long injury. So he must have done some pretty good damage to it, to be honest. Hit the like and subscribe. Appreciate that as well, Janice. One player to be back in firing for the Liverpool game. We've got a little while left. We do have 6 days off after Wolves. My goodness, that's like a mini winter break for a Premier League side. But look, for me, I think this game is going to be difficult. I'm going to go 2-2. I think we will score in this game. It's what we do. We score against pretty much everyone. But I'm going to go 2-2 because I think they're going to hit us on the counter-attack a couple of times. They've got the players for it. They're a great counter-attack side. I just think in terms of having a few extra players back now, we've got a bit of quality. We've got quality, obviously. We have quality fitness as well. We have some quality. But having a few extra players back, a raring to go Ben Score. Ben Score should come back and be like, right, this is my midfield. It was my midfield before I went away. It's my midfield now I'm back. Move. I don't care if Ben Score plays a 6, the 8, the 10. Hell, he's playing right back, left back, or up front. I don't care. He should be going out there to go absolutely berserk in this game. It's going to be a big game. It's Boxing Day. Boxing Day is, in my opinion, of all of the games of the season, is the best day of the season when it comes to football. Across the English leagues, it's the best day of football. You wake up, there's normally football on at lunchtime. I think it's City Everton. City, by the way, I think are going to go crazy in that game. I can see it being like 5 or 6-0, just because I think they're going to wake up and go, the disrespect now has been too much. We're not even in the top 4. We're going to go berserk. And then after that, it's just football, 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 football. It's incredible that day. Will be tough first for us, yeah, absolutely. Van der Ven back, hopefully back off time. Yeah, I think mid-January is probably back. Romero's aiming for Liverpool away. That's early Feb. We win 3-1 Adventurous. I love that. Ben Score's got to take the reins, absolutely. NFL tomorrow. NFL is tomorrow, 6 o'clock, and I think 9:30. Obviously, Chiefs versus Steelers. And is it Baltimore versus Houston? I think it is. I think it is. I've got my NFL fantasy football final this game week. We're in the final. We were predicted to get just about into the playoffs, and I've coached this team up into the final. This is the limbs, absolute limbs, all right? For me, if I was Ange's squad, it won't be Austin in goal, mate. Spence, Dragosin, won't be Dorrington either, my friends. Madison Sarr, great. It won't be great in the midfield. Kulu, Son, Solanke, yeah, fair enough. Am I predicting a Bentancur goal tomorrow? Yeah, why the hell not? 2-2. Give me a Bentancur and give me a Johnson. Give me a Johnson. I think he's going to want to get into this game. And I think he's going to look, those games where he's not going to be one of those SH1T houses, but I think it's one of those games where he's up for a little bit of a needle. He's up for a little bit of physicality, because there's a few players that are probably going to want to, just old team, I'm just going to leave one on him. I think he's going to be up for it. So I'm going to say Johnson and Bentancur. Give me those two boys back in the team and scoring. Watch your football day, Boxing Day. Yeah, I will be there with you, mate. 3-2 Spurs. John's goal. Yeah, and Netflix has the NFL this season. Lovely jubbly. I'll be delusional. They're due a bad day and missing chances. We all score. Hopefully win 2-0 with luck. Spence and Johnson to score. Bold. Must win the game, absolutely. On a side note, with the Boxing Day test, the MCG. Yes, we do. When it's Ashes, it's huge. Nearly 100,000 baying for English blood. I love Boxing Day cricket. Hell, even Christmas Day. Christmas Day sport in the UK isn't really a thing, but Christmas Day sport in America and other continents is really a big thing. I love it. They're playing board games, having a few rum and cokes. Patriots don't seem to bloody play on Christmas Day, so there's also that. Thanks, Tom. So yeah, I love it. I love it. MCG. I've been to the MCG. It's a cracking stadium. Our Prem season is pretty much over. No, plenty still to play for, mate. 3-2 us. Next year's the Ashes on Boxing Day. We will be ready for it, my friend. Well, I say we. I'll be ready for it with a few drinks. Put Dorrington because Gray is not an actual centre defender. He won't put Forrest. He won't put a guy pretty much starting his first game in for this one, unfortunately. Maybe in the future. But Ben Davies might be back. But we ex-Empire countries have Boxing Day for such things. Yes, you do, Steve. I'm very grateful, Steve, to other countries playing sport on Christmas Day because I get to enjoy it whilst being in the warmth, being okay, and the rum's over there. I can't get it. But the rum as well. They'll be there with me. I'll be merry because of it. If I lose Monopoly, there'll be hell to pay. There will be hell to pay. But yeah. But anyway, look, most importantly, everyone, regardless of Spurs, regardless of the transfer window, regardless of anything, enjoy Christmas. That's the important thing. Enjoy being with friends and family. If it's a bad time of the year for you, try and find some solace and enjoyment in something that you're going to do. Maybe it is watching the NFL on Netflix. Maybe it is, cracking on a different sport here and there. Enjoy something. Take your mind off things if it's not great. But if you are enjoying Christmas, eat plenty, drink plenty. Calories do not count. I can promise you that as the personal trainer. The calories do not count. So enjoy it, okay? I saw your video yesterday. We ain't going to buy Gio Brandt. He's Dortmund's captain. Yeah, no, I said we're not going to buy him. Fair enough. But yes, enjoy Christmas, everyone. I will be back on the 27th to talk some Spurs. So hopefully I will see you there on the 27th where we do our review of Forest, but also the preview for Wolves, okay? Enjoy yourselves, and I will see all you later. Take care. Peace.